Time here today.
Can you see me?
No. You can put yourself on
Can you hear
mute,
me?
sir.
Yes, let's see.
Please put yourself on mute.
What's family we can get through annual report.
Bruce, can you hear me?
Yes, put yourself on mute.
Quick.
Maybe he can't hear us.
The rest of that from there down is all
Can you hear us?
one real report. There's a
I
bunch
put
of
it
them
on
there,
mute,
but
right.
it's all
I
one
know.
audit. So we
Hey,
can
Bridget?
watch them together.
Yeah, but the IDA mission statement, that, we're gonna debate that for hours.
You can hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Michael?
No, you're speaking to that thing.
Well, it's not on there. Oh, I can't even see him.
So we could do
No.
a review
Michael?
of the auditors. Yeah, and then we can done with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean you don't want to sit and listen to the
No,
auditors?
as a matter of fact, they
Come
got one.
on. It's the highlight of my year.
Yeah. You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you not hear us?
No, it's over here. Right.
Definitely wasn't my fault.
Good, how are you?
Good.
Have you gotten any,
I just
golf season since
Yeah,
before this
I've
weather?
actually been playing, pretty much.
Oh, good.
I don't know.
You know, on the nice days, certainly.
Yeah.
Not this, so this is crazy. It feels like January. for God's
Let's
sake.
connect it.
So we had a good stretch, was pretty nice.
Yep. No, we had a meeting the other day with your
Just for a quick
colleague.
minute, just so I can
Oh, good.
put this up.
You know, she's still our counsel for,
Mhm.
actually,
Check off the agenda.
we're moving towards the end. and
Right.
Private.
We're gonna be here fast.
She's tremendous.
Oh, yeah.
Annual report.
She knows the telecom industry
Or
as good as anybody I've ever contacted or seen.
Yeah.
audited, then,
Did you see the,
which one is it?
sure, Will Smith,
Yeah, I saw that first thing this
This
morning.
one? Yep.
Mm.
That's
You
the little.
let them have it open-ended.
Man.
It almost looks staged.
Yeah,
Almost
that's
looks
what I was
staged.
Called, and he said,
yeah,
looking at
almost.
these auditors
Until
reports,
he
and all of them,
screamed.
they say that
Yeah.
can't guarantee our internal
the-
controls.
You know, he walked back and
What?
sat
I didn't see
down.
any of that.
Well, it's their standard
Their standard
disclaimer, you
docs.
know.
And that was
He
About, yeah.
says it says it so many times in there,
ridiculous.
that it feels like you should say, is there something
And,
wrong? Should
so
we
I
be,
was
or
just
should we
reading
be
the academy
clearing
is,
ourselves that we've
officially.
reviewed internal controls?
Yeah,
I'll call,
I think they need to do more.
I think it was
I
a
was gonna
setup.
call the auditors.
Yeah.
It's all standard stuff.
You know, I'm thinking it's, they have another purpose
Yeah.
for all this, you know, so.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
why
there's nothing
And that-
wrong
that
with
could be
ours.
the
It was,
cynic in me, you know, with
They
Hollywood.
didn't
I
find them, right?
thought about, you know, he won Best Actor, maybe.
John, can you hear us?
They- That was acting,
I can hear you.
that, you know, what they did.
Turn my speakers on so I can hear you now.
It's ugly.
Okay, just want to make sure.
After they
Mr. Wojcik was
figured
having
it out, it must
issues.
be Chris Rock taking a poke and not giving one back.
Are you?
Well,
gonna
yeah, he's kind of-
just,
he's-
summary?
He's now being praised for
I don't have it up yet.
having restrained, but.
Did you,
Well,
when you
I should
brought up the
completely
Zoom,
knock these
did
people
you
around
click
the
on the
floor
use
after
computer
that.
audio?
Yeah, you
Uh,
know.
I didn't see it or anything,
no,
but I
I did
heard
not,
about
because it
it.
brought me right to this.
Well, there
Well,
should be
it-
an option.
Not just the slap in
You-
the face, it's the language that he used.
There we go.
Oh, did that come through on television?
Not in the American version, but in the Japanese
Oh,
version.
Yeah, they didn't bleep it out.
They didn't bleep it out, and it was
We are, so we have management
was
letter. What's after
rude.
management letter? Auditors.
at a level that,
I didn't hear any of the, I didn't hear any of the verbiage.
Usually those things are on delay, just a little
Yeah.
bit, you know, so in case something like that happens. Oh, I'm sorry. Come on,
Yeah,
here's
he's
your,
showing it on there.
here's your mic. Please, I'm sorry.
I'll sit down here.
No, you
No,
sit
no.
next to Mike, that's your post.
Which one's the
I'll
auditor?
sit, you know, I'll sit down here, Bob doesn't care.
As long as it's not that
I
off.
think it's one of those two. One of them is communication and the other one is.
I'd like to see him do
The
is
auditor.
take his,
Policies and procedures.
That we don't have.
I know they won't.
Good, okay.
That would make
That'd
us
You're
feel
talking about Will
safe.
Wilson?
Yeah.
It just,
See,
just
that's
like so ugly.
I originally thought what Mike thought, because what they're talking about right afterwards and his speech afterwards was about how they have to put up with things like this from the public. And that's the perfect lead-in of, just because you're a star doesn't mean people get to say this crap about you on the internet and everything else. But we put up with every day. Now, that's leading into telling somebody something, but.
With what's going on in the world,
Well, what he said is,
Little-
what he had said, he talked about her hair, and I guess she has her hair shaved down because she has alopecia.
That's right.
But
But he didn't say she looked bad. He
Yeah, he did.
what he said was,
It looks like Gary for Jean too.
yeah, he acted like I mistook her for Demi Moore, who's a beautiful woman. So
Yeah,
to me, there's
there's
no
a background running there somewhere.
Yeah, there's another-
I didn't see
Dust
it.
up somewhere.
I didn't see any
I
call
really
for that. And, everyone's
don't know
in
if I
formal
think-
attire. It's a beautiful.
Are we doing
Edited that.
IDA, are we doing
Just
airport
over there
update?
Screaming like that?
Then there's
I
tax
guess
order.
going and living with your auntie and uncle
Got it.
doesn't pay off.
Listen,
That's
I
very
don't know if
funny.
we have everything, so we're gonna start with Country Mass.
That's very funny. And, I was at the
Denmark,
TPC,
Yeah.
in,
You need this?
Ponte
Oh,
Verde,
thank you.
Florida.
Uh-huh.
Near Jackson,
Yeah.
like Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually have too many
And,
packets.
That's my last big time go to a golf tournament.
Is it?
So congested, I
Yeah.
can't deal with it.
Not even Oak Hill.
You know what, at this point, maybe Oak Hill, because it's close by, but, my family has a beautiful home, my cousin, like my brother, stayed there, 3-4 miles from the golf course, an hour to
This
get there.
weekend was
Oh,
like
my
white.
God.
I mean,
I'm not white,
in
but
the
I'm-
parking, insanity, and then the weather couldn't have been worse. Rain, cold, wind,
Yeah.
I mean, the Saturday was, it felt almost not quite this cold, but not that far.
Yeah.
It was cool to see that golf course, because it's all water,
That's why when it's cold with all water, it just.
Yeah.
Oh,
Seeps right into your bones. You
Damn.
gotta watch it.
Oh,
yeah. And even the greatest players in the world, Saturday on that 17th hole, 25 balls in the water.
Yeah.
And there were some that looked like meat, there's like an island with a tree, if you've ever seen that on TV.
Yeah.
Some that were, they blocked it towards the island. It wasn't 20 yards near the green. These are the greatest players in the world.
But everybody else is.
But I tell you what, there's not enough golf courses.
Yeah, we want me to let people in?
It is so
Got 0
intimidating.
minutes.
And I was able to stand, in the earlier rounds, you could go down
And
the
drink
channel
a lot.
and eat. I'm thinking
Hey,
to
Mike.
myself, if I was up there, it would be terrible. Yeah,
Debbie and I were at the Players on Friday and Monday.
no kidding, I was there on Thursday and Friday. Too bad we didn't run into each other.
I know, weird.
I was the guy with the stocking cap and the, go to Walmart and get warm clothes. We were fortunate, we actually, because my cousin had hurt his foot, we had his doctor gave him a handicap parking pass. So we were able
Is everybody
to,
here?
get handicap parking, which was really
I'm
good.
waiting for him to walk through the door. All right, well, I guess we have everybody here and we can, go ahead and call the Industrial Development Agency meeting to order.
Good quorum.
Well, yep, we got a quorum. I was waiting for him to walk through the door too, Mike, you're all on the screen. Very good, so they're ready to go. And we can go ahead and, we call it to order and we can start right into Country Max and let Sue kick us off here.
I'd like to introduce everyone to Don Payne from Country Max. Don has a project coming in the town of Farmington at the Colette and Hook Roads. And he is going to build a warehouse, a fulfillment center, and offices there. And I will let Don tell you all about Country Max and his project.
Okay, hi, everyone. Yep, my name's Don Payne. I'm from Country Max Stores. To start with here, there's a few names on the screen, as you can see. And just to go over those quick, the name of the user is certainly Country Max Stores. Our plan is to have an office and warehouse facility. Our operating corporation is a Farmington Farm and Garden, Inc. That's where that comes into play, and you'll see that the application is Farmington Lawn Care, which is what our property assets, all the ownership for the group. So a lot of names, but we're all the same in that respect. So that's the first. So a little bit about us. We started in 1984. We were an Agway franchise. Some of you may remember Agway. They're now long gone, but they were quite an operating business at that time. And we applied and were given a franchise for their retail division. Built a 6,000 square foot store there in Farmington, where it stands today. Have built onto that one twice, and it really did solidify our format and what it is that we even continue to sell today at retail. So from there, we stumbled around for quite a few years. We built on twice to our location in Farmington, and then started in on the process of adding locations. And actually, as Agway was going out of business, they sold off a couple stores. They sold off all their stores, obviously, but we ended up with 3 of them. And so that really took us into the multi-store business from there. So we currently have 18 locations, with hopefully some more on the way. And also a very strong web presence on the backside. So what we have today with the 18 stores, we have a location here in Farmington on Route 96 that was a former GIP Systems building. They moved out. It's hard to believe. It's been nearly 20 years. It was 2003, I think, that we were able to get this facility. Distribution, we do some inventory processing here. We do quite a few different things, along with our web fulfillment, sales, and also all of our office staff is here, which includes quite a few different departments. So we are, even if we stay as we are today, and we're quite a seasonal business. As if you know who we are, lawn and garden season is really a heavy season for us, and seasonally we explode everywhere in volumes of product, and it certainly happens this time of year for us as we head into the spring months. And it's along with not only the amount of people that are involved in the office side of things, the operations side, but as the web sales have continued to grow, that also has taken up space. And so we've maxed out this location, and over the past few years have been looking for opportunities to be able to have another facility that we could grow into. So that's what we're looking to do here.
All right, does anybody have any questions for Don? Oh, is he not quite done?
No,
Almost.
just to me.
Get that
Yeah,
ball
here you go.
that
That
side,
was
it
pretty
nice.
Well, the
So-
screen froze.
We've got quite a few employees here that are continuing to, the number continues to grow all the time, and both in warehouse and in operations. We do need to consolidate our web fulfillment business and the employees that are involved in that back into this. We're in a couple spread out across a few locations now to get that done. And also we're 96 in the location that we're in right now is a very big challenge for us to be able to get the number of tractor trailer trucks that come in and out of here. And you can sit here for 15 minutes waiting to jump into the traffic line. So it'll be nice to be in a location that is definitely more commercial based when it comes to the traffic flow. So that's a rendering of our front of our building, proposed building. It's about 74,000 square feet, 54,000 designated warehouse space, and then a 2-floor, 20,000 square foot of office. And what we hope to use is office and some education rooms and some ability to have a little more room to have different events for our employees. And that's just a view of the overall architectural from the front coming down Colette Road. That is the site plan as it is. As you can see, Colette and Hook with the warehousing, the loading docks around the back side of the building. So we use that plot of land is certainly filled right up with our proposed building. And that's it. So I think that's about it. We're really looking forward to getting going on this, and we've got a
Does
site.
anybody have any? Go ahead, I thought you said it about it, so.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't. We're ready to go. We've got our site plan approvals, and most of our contractors are lined up, and so we're getting along on the process. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions for Don?
Is this site where the driving range used to sit?
No,
this
it's,
is Collett Road.
you know where the FedEx distribution center is?
So it's farther
near
out.
there, yeah.
Don, I know it's in the application, but can you mention the jobs, please, that you have and, what you'd expect to gain?
Yes, we really expect to gain quite a few, actually. We're from our warehouse side of things. We're very seasonal. We currently on the application I put in 27 employees as full-time between parts and fulls, and that's probably a tad bit low. We want to be able to bring our some of the people that we actually don't have office space for that are traveling, that'll be able to utilize our space, and in addition, the web fulfillment side of the business will be able to bring in there. So, I think the projection, I think it's just a second year that's on the application. I think that was
You had 15 in there, 15 new.
yeah, it'll probably be hard to keep it that low. We project certainly, especially because of the ability to do our web fulfillment business out of there. we had a 5-year plan of at least between 60 and 70 total employees in the facility.
I have a question. This is Lou Zulik. Is there any, kind of like secondary gain in that, where do you get the raw materials for what you're selling? Is any of that obtained locally? And what about the transportation that you use to deliver the online orders? Is that at all local, or does that sort of depend?
A few things, products locally, there's a lot of New York State local products. Within that, one other element that we have here, we purchase a lot of things from our farm. My two brothers still operate a farm here in Farmington. A lot of so hay, straw, corn, various different seasonal products. So quite a bit of stuff comes in through seasonally there. Quite a few different between both Monroe County and some in Ontario, some just local growers. So there's quite a bit of nursery and flower stock that comes local. As far as the trucking, we do have our own trucks and trailers. As far as web fulfillment, that is almost 100% FedEx, UPS, post office. So it's all packaged and shipped that way.
Okay, thanks.
All right, any other questions? I'd be happy to entertain a motion.
Motion to hold a public hearing.
I have a motion from Andy to hold a public hearing.
I'll second it,
Deb.
Second by Deb. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Thank you very much, Don.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
All right, on to the administrative portion, which is quite lengthy this evening. So we'll jump right into the minutes. I'll take a motion on the minutes.
This is Lou. I'll make a motion to approve.
Dan Marshall will second.
Seconded from Dan. Any questions or comments on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. We'll go for invoices for payment. Mike?
If that's me.
Oh, it's Tom, never mind.
A lot of the typical items like the utilities, bills, heat bills, and labor parts, they reflect some of the utilities are 2 to 3 months worth, and then there's labor and parts reflect 6 weeks because of the distance span since our last meeting, which was early February. We've got a couple repeats in there for tax payments to the town. They had to be adjusted and they're being paid. I've got some reimbursements for my expenses for the symposium in Nashville. And we have an expense for project work for the pavement design. We had to have an independent fee estimate done by a separate engineering firm. They came in expenses, cost of $1,500, which is 95% reimbursable by the grant. And also we've got an invoice from Farland Johnson for their engineering work for the generator project, which is currently out to bid. Any questions on those? I can answer on the list above.
Any questions on those section of bills? All right. Mike, do you have anything to explain, or is it all self-explanatory?
Yeah, self-explanatory. The only thing I would like to bring
bring to light is this is the first time we've had a low-key Brill invoice. If you recall, those are in an escrow account. They don't go through our income statement. They're strictly a balance sheet account transaction.
It's for local labor monitoring.
That's our first project.
Who's, all right, so we'll entertain a motion, pay the bills.
Move, Dan.
Dan Marshall says, moves the motion, is the motion to pay bills. Is there a second?
Second?
Second.
Seconded by Andy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. And we'll get into the annual report. Mike?
Yeah, pleased to submit for your approval. I believe you've all had it, the annual report for 2021. And just a couple of highlights. We do the scorecard every year. You can see the scorecard in terms of projects. I think what I'd like to draw everybody's attention to is the, what do you call this thing, Sue?
Infographic.
The infographic. And the thing that is very much in our favor and shows, I believe, the results of this and other efforts is the in-migration in Ontario County, being the only one of 2 counties in all of the 62 counties in New York State to experience a net in-migration, which is exceptional in New York. And also some of the other stats here are quite interesting and frankly show quite favorable to us versus the state, the region, and other counties in the state. Appreciate your support of the annual report. It was approved by the Economic Development Corporation, so we're asking for approval of the IDA and you know, for that, so we can submit it to the Authority Budget Office with all of our other regulatory items that are due by the end of the week.
Okay. We have a motion to accept that report.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. This is Lou.
Sorry, Lou seconded. Okay, now any questions on the report?
Beautiful.
No questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. All right, let's get right into the board survey. Sue?
Thank you for participating in our annual board survey. This is ABO required also. You down one, Jessica? Thank you. We had 6 out of 7 board members participate. I appreciate having everyone participate. The lower the score, the better on this. And really, our scores were pretty good. They were all in the low ones. 1 is a perfect score, so that's good. And there weren't any board comments on it.
Okay.
Thank you again for participating.
All right, we have a motion to accept that report.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion from Kelly,
I'll
seconded by Don. Any discussion on said report? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. If I hear no objections, I'd like to take the next 4 as a block. Do we have any problems with taking the next 4 as a block? Hearing no objections, we're gonna turn John loose, let him explain all 4, and then we can do it. So it's all with you, John.
Thank you. So the next 4 documents, the financial statements, the first document here is what they call an executive or we call it an executive summary. It's just a much more condensed version of the financial statements that you have, which are 60 pages long or so. These are just a much more focused look at the statements themselves. You know, we met with the audit committee, I believe it was last week or a couple weeks ago, and kind of went through this. So I'm just going to touch on some of the highlights of what we see here. This first page here, this is the operating fund, so the main fund for the agency, and your balance sheet. And you can see the balances year to year and kind of what has changed. You know, and we do have some highlights at the bottom here, just walking you through a couple things. Those other current assets represent agency fees that are due for the most part, non-current assets being the partnership and joint venture that you have. Due to or due from other funds, this is the interfund activity between the airport and the operating fund here. So that's up a little bit because the agency, the operating fund, has been loaning money to the airport fund to cover some of its deficits. You can see cash and fund balance or net position are up quite a bit this year because the agency had a really good year this year. And if we go to the next page, we can kind of see what the main factors were there. So here you can see that revenues were way up this year. So a lot more than last year. Last year we had the pandemic going pretty good. You really didn't close on a lot of projects. This year you did close on more projects, but some very large ones, and you can see them down in the financial highlights section. First American, Leonard's Express, and Cooper's Vision. So some larger fees collected for some bigger projects you had this year. Okay, and at the same time, your operating expenses were relatively stable year over year. So you really had with the additional fees, had a very good year this year, and your net position increased $900,000. So the agency finished up the year in very good financial position. Okay, almost double, in fact, double what it was last year. And if we go to the next page, we can look at the airport fund. So this is the operations of the airport, which the agency also manages. And again, comparative statements, you can see things from last year to this year. Capital assets, we see a decrease here. Just to point out, the reason for that is really just depreciation in excess of the additions this year. So you did build some new items, you did buy some equipment, but the depreciation, which is about $560,000, was higher than what the additions were. That's why you see that decrease here and down in the net position section. Other current assets are really the receivables, amounts due from the federal and the state for those construction projects out at the airport. They're just down a little bit this year, and that's just related to timing of when those projects are completed and when you draw the funds down. Down in the net position section here, you can see that you have a decrease this year in unrestricted, and that's really related to the losses that the airport took from operations. If we go to the next page, we can get a look at that. Okay, so we can see that operating revenues are fairly stable. Your administrative expenses are actually pretty close to what they were last year. Depreciation, and as I mentioned, that affects the value of your fixed assets, and actually it's in the net position, that section on investment in fixed assets, so that impacts that section. Non-operating revenues were pretty stable. Contributed capital, this is your federal and state monies that you receive for projects out at the airport. Transfers to the airport fund are the amounts that you're required under those federal and state grants to provide local or funding, your own funding to fund those projects. So that $28,000 comes from the operating fund for the agency. An overall decrease is about $600,000. You know, the operating revenues compared to your administrative expenses, the revenues don't quite match the administration, but you do still have funds available, so you're continuing to operate. That's the airport fund. Before I move on to the management letter, are there any questions about any of the financial numbers I can address? Okay, moving on to the management letter. So as part of our audit, we do look at your internal controls, and make any recommendations if we, we do some testing on some of those areas, and we will make some recommendations if necessary. There were no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies, so it's very good. One recommendation this year, really just the lawn care services. Make sure you're doing an RFP for those services that did expire last year, so look into that, doing that. Other items, so things not necessarily a internal control deficiency, but something to continue to monitor. Keep looking at the airport operations, looking for any kind of sources of revenue or ability to reduce expenses that'll help increase its financial stability. And there's a new lease standard is the second bullet there, is coming out. So start looking at your contracts that represent leases and start getting a lease inventory together. The new standard will require that those items that currently don't appear on your balance sheet, it'll put an asset and an offsetting liability on your balance sheet for those. So get an inventory of those together. You do have one corrected item. So bank reconciliations for the IDA were reviewed timely, which is very positive, especially in this kind of remote environment we deal with COVID. So it's good to see those reviewed on time. The last communication we have, if you want to click on not that one, but the one next to it, SAS 21, letter of communication. So under our auditing standards, we're required to provide this letter of communication. The gist of which is that it just kind of discusses the audit, which went very smoothly. Management didn't consult other auditors. There were no disagreements with management in conducting our audit. There was no material audit adjustments necessary to complete our audit. So that's what that communication basically provides. And so those are the items I have for you. Any questions on anything I provided?
It's all been through committee, so does anybody want to make a motion to accept the auditor's reports?
I'll move it.
Have a motion from Andy,
This is Lou. I'll second.
seconded by Lou. Anybody have any questions on any of these reports? All those in favor of acceptance?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? Hearing none? Accepted. Now we're gonna, if I don't hear any other problems with this, I wanna do the next bunch in a block, all the way from annual procurement report, all the way down to IDA mission statement and measure report. Now we're gonna turn Mike loose and let him explain all of them to us.
There you go. I'm gonna get on a roll here. So, okay, this is our annual procurement report, which is, it requires us to report to the ABO any vendor that we do over $5,000 worth of business with. I think this year we had 10 or 11. It was a little bit down because we didn't have a lot of projects, as evidenced by our financial statements. And as you're just peeling through, you'll see that some are fairly large contracts like McFarland. Others are pretty much just commodity items, especially that we see a lot of through the airport. Fuel being the primary vendor there. Insurance, things like that. So anyway, this is our procurement report. It's one of 5 reports that we file annually with the ABO. Okay, next item would be, policies and procedures amendments. We don't have any of those, so we're going to scratch that one off at this point in time. What happened? Hello?
You're fine.
We can still hear you.
Oh, I can't see anything. Something. Okay, hold on just a minute. I think my computer. There we go. It's just about getting up. Bear with me.
We just didn't get it.
We can still see everything, and you're
There we
being
go.
in the dark most of the time, right?
You see how intense I was at getting that? So here we go with another ABO requirement, which is actually a good requirement for whether or not you're filing with ABO or not. It's the management internal control assessment. So we have this document that's been developed over a few years, and it pretty much goes through everything that we do financially and kind of makes us look at it a little bit harder on a year-to-year basis. We do that, we make some comments on the bottom. Some are very consistent, some we change from year to year. But then we go through this document. As you can see, it's all accounting oriented. Just need to keep going. And then we have to make proclamation saying that we feel that we've done very well with our internal controlments. And that is signed off on another document that should be attached to the, keep going. Okay, financial reporting, credit card receipts. So you can see there's a lot of stuff in here that we do keep, even though we are not very active in it, but it's few and far between. Reporting we've updated to, and then this is our little assessment at the end that we look at and what our goals are for the next year for 21 and 22. So, okay, we should have the internal control letter in there. Did that make that agenda? There we go. So this is actually what we file with the ABO. It does say that both the executive director and the CFO have reviewed the internal controls, and we feel safe and we feel confident that we've got pretty good internal controls in place. Okay. Next item is the I'm sorry, excuse me?
I need a mission statement.
Okay, mission statement measurement report. Okay, this is another required report. This pretty well blends a few things. It kind of makes us look at our mission statement a little bit. There's one thing I would like to say up front is that we look at this with all three companies, the EDC, the Economic Development Corporation, the IDA, and the LDC. And we look at what our mission is, and then we try to measure our activity against our mission. And that's usually the center part right here that we're looking at. Takes a look at all the projects we did. How does it fall within our strategies? And as you can see, we're doing pretty good. I mean, there's no A, B, C, D grades on these. It's just pretty much we kind of summarize what we're doing. I get a lot of this stuff from the annual report, and that's what we do here. And then also on here is just kind of a summary of the of your comments towards us for the year there. And then again, this is the EDC, the IDA, and the LDC. Okay. And the last one is our real estate report. And at this point, we own 3 pieces of property. 2 are adjoining that make up the airport. And there's a small piece out in Geneva that it runs parallel to the railroad track. Somehow we picked that up maybe 20 years ago. And we still own that piece too.
All right. Oh. All right, so I'll take a motion to accept these reports.
Moved, Marshall.
Motion by Dan.
Second by Don.
Second by Don. Any questions on any of these reports as presented?
I would just like to encourage the board, if they have any questions, they want to talk to me one-on-one, please feel free to give me a call anytime.
Hearing no questions. All those in favor of accepting the reports?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing no oppositions, the reports are passed. We all have gotten reports from Bob, and everybody taking a chance to take a look at it, and I accept the motion to accept Bob's report.
This is Lou. I'll move it.
Motion from Lou.
I'll second. It's Kelly.
Seconded by Kelly. Anybody have any questions for Bob on that said report?
We didn't get an update from Bob on his trip.
Oh, to Nashville?
Yeah.
No, it was great. You ever been to a honky tonk?
He's got an agent, and he's gonna be
You can just start singing. Anyway, the symposium was great, very informative. I met a lot of people in similar airport sizes from the south, and it's amazing how relieved they are. They don't have to move snow, and it's a tremendous difference in airport management. But yeah, learned a lot. Went to attend a lot of sessions and made a lot of good contacts there.
Maybe next meeting, we can have Bob on the agenda for, these are some things that we learned, these are some things that we're gonna incorporate into our plans.
Yeah, or karaoke. I hear you're an expert.
Oh, no.
Not revisit that.
Any other questions for Bob?
Yeah, this is Lou. I had a question. With the new paving and the terminal building, and I'm assuming that we will have increased maintenance obligations. Is that budgeted already, or is that sort of all part of the planning for those things?
We wouldn't be in the budgeting phase of that yet, but yeah, that would increase to the maintenance. Looks like the nearest construction would take place in 2024 for pavement anyway, and hopefully it probably will be one will be completed with the terminal and the roadway as well.
Yeah, Lou, I would just like to say too, our budgets, if you recall, we have to go out 4 years, and we do kind of anticipate those expenses later on.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions for Bob? All those in favor of accepting his report?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, carried, and Bob has asked of us, task order 3.
This is a task order generated which directs McFarland Johnson to do some preliminary engineering work for the sanitary sewer design system. This would go to the Ontario County DPW, who has expressed interest in extending their sewer line up Brickyard Road, not only for the airport, but for other developers and possibly even further for future use. This is for $1,923, and this for a few days worth of work, a couple days worth of work, and get us a report that we can get to the DPW and start seeing what's next.
All right, we have a motion for that task order.
Move Marshall.
Motion from Dan,
Second.
seconded by Andy. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. And then the update on the economic developer search is me. And I can tell you that I resigned from that committee last Monday. I know one of the applicants fairly well. He's my brother, so I stepped down off of that committee. They have made a selection. I think they have like 3 or 4 people going to second interview.
And I'd like to just remind everybody that our ability to meet via Zoom is going to be expiring April 15th. And if you want to contact your assemblyman or senator to encourage them to pass legislation that lets us continue to meet remotely if it's good for us, please do.
Mike, could I ask for a clarification? You stepped off the board,
When I was on the selection committee, I stepped off the selection.
so I should assume your brother is one of the 3 people that is still a candidate.
I would say it's possible. I don't know and don't want to.
Okay. All right.
I
Would
can
it
speak
be
to that if you'd like.
Sure.
First of all, there was a very lengthy discussion with regards to the fact that if there was going to be some type of conflict of interest with Mike still being on the board and his brother being a candidate, a potential candidate. And as I recall, the conversation was lengthy. A lot of people wanted Mike to stick around, but in the end, I believe it was just thought that the best way to move forward would be for him to leave the committee. A lot of people wanted him to stick around because he has pretty good insight as to what people are, what they're like and how they would be good for the. So there was, it just sounded a little adversarial when Mike first mentioned it there, and I don't believe that was the case at all.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean to be adversarial. Basically, I was the one that agreed to step away because I don't want to see anything, any impropriety there. And that's just the cleanest way for me to do is just walk away.
Thank you.
So,
Dan, is there any timetable as to when second interviews are taking place and a decision will be made?
The individuals that are back for second interview, first of all, were also asked to send references, which I believe they all have. And the answer timeline is probably in the next 2 weeks.
Thank you.
So does it make sense for someone else from the board to?
I think you have to be appointed by the board of supervisors and everything else, so it's a little late in the game for that. Am I correct in saying that, Dan?
Not really sure, but there's sufficient number of people still on the board to keep moving forward. And Rob Sloan is still there for the Office of Economic, or the Economic Development Board, and I'm still here for the IDA. So the two boards are represented.
Any other questions about search committee? Not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion from Andy.
Second.
Second by Kelly. All those in favor?
Aye.
Everybody have a wonderful
Aye.
evening.
LDC.
All right.
Oh, we gotta do the LDC. Never mind. Yeah, forgot about it. LDC. So we'll open up under LDC. And is Jessica caught up here? Everybody stay online? Or do we have to get out and then come back?
Stay. They're all members, same board.
Don't know what you need up here.
Well, I think that, we call it to order and we'll go to the minutes first. We have a motion on the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve. This is Lou.
I have a motion from Lou for the approved minutes. Second?
Second.
A second from Andy. Any discussion on the minutes?
I'll abstain.
All those in favor?
I wasn't on the board on December 31st.
Oh,
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none? Carried. Now, we'll go to everything John has to say. His audited financial statements and account management letter. John?
Okay, hopefully we'll do this just real quick. Do we have the executive summary?
No, but I could jump on this real quick. Well, we had pretty much two transactions last year. We had the audit expense and we had the insurance expense, both of which are required. And there were the only revenues we had were interest revenues coming off of approximately a $210,000 cash balance.
MGLT? LT, try that.
To walk through the other reports, the management letter, the communication here. Again, just looking at internal controls, no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies. We did note, if you scroll down, timeliness of bank recs, and again, we understand the difficulty in getting those done, considering the remote environment. So just making sure to stay on top of those and continue to try and get those done timely. We did note that there were no payments made that weren't presented to the board in a timely fashion. So very good results this year. Audit went very smoothly. The next item, the letter of communication, I think that's there as well, is also clean. And again, so no issues getting through the audit, no disagreements with management or material journal entries or anything like that.
Okay, and here is your
I think Michael already walked through this.
Yep.
So and I can answer any questions anyone has on any of the documents.
just go down to the income.
Nobody has any questions? We entertain a motion.
Move it.
I have a motion from Andy,
Second from Don.
seconded by Don. Any further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Then we can do all these as a block like we did in the other meeting. Mike, run them.
I will go for it. Annual procurement report. There were no transactions, there was no vendors that had received anything above 5,000. Both of our payments were in the neighborhood of 3,000 each or somewhere in there. The manager's internal control and assessment report. Kind of pretty much the same document. It alters, we altered it a little bit just to match the LDC, but both the executive director and myself felt that everything was fine in terms of in terms of our controls and such. So that's number 2. The mission statement and measurement report. Again, this is the exact same document that we presented at the IDA and also the LDC. Hence, you notice that they're all in triplicate up top on that one. And the last one is the real property report. I am here to tell you that the LDC does not own any property.
All
So
right.
if there's any questions on those quick things, let me know. Again, please give me a call and we can go through them personally one-on-one if you'd like. So.
Motion to accept.
I have a motion from Andy to accept those reports.
Second, Marshall.
Seconded by Dan Marshall. All those in favor of those reports?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, carried, and we'll go to adjourn again.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Lou. Seconded by Don. All those in favor?
Aye.
Now, everybody have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Aye.
What did you